Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race 17 in season number 6 of the NRLOA Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and the first race of the chase in season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the last great Coliseum, the Bristol Motor Speedway, for the Krystal night race at Bristol. 100 laps around this half-mile bullring oval in a place we like to call Bristol, Tennessee. And the second time we've been to the state of Tennessee this year in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. And this time it's going to play a major pivotal part in the championship, as it's the first race of the chase. It has been the first race of the chase every single season of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and I do not see that changing anytime soon. This place is something else. Lots of times we get Crash Fest races here, and we might see that again here today, but maybe not. We've toned down the strength a little bit lower than we normally have in past seasons, so we may see a rather green flag race today. But we're still going to have pit stops, which is going to shake things up, and it's going to be a crazy, wild race here to open up the chase in season number 6. Of course, speaking of the chase, I don't think I need to explain to you guys how the chase system works anymore, but I will go into explanation yet again, just in case you don't know. Of course, at the end of 3 races, we're going to eliminate the bottom 4 drivers in the point standings that are in the chase. And at the end of 3 more races, we'll take 4 more drivers out. And then at the end of 3 more races, we'll take 4 more drivers out. We'll be left with 4 drivers. And those 4 drivers will battle it out for a championship at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Whichever driver finishes highest of the 4 drivers wins the championship when we get to the Chick-Fil-A 500 at the end of the season. However, a couple of new things this season for the chase. There are playoff points, so coming into today's event, Ace Garcia is the points leader. He got the most playoff points for being the points leader at the end of the regular season. 20 playoff points for the number 23. Second place in the points is Elijah Gordon with 18 playoff points, so 2020 points going to Ace Garcia right now, 2018 points for Elijah Gordon, 2015 for Trey Bartow and Alexander NRLOA. They're both tied for the 3rd place in the point standings, and Al Lagasse with the 5th seed, 2014 points coming into today's event. Also, all of the chase drivers have a red Chick-fil-A logo on their banner, so you can distinguish them from the non-chase drivers in each race. Anyways, that's enough talking for now. Let's get this, quite possibly could be a demolition derby, started here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. It might not be, but it may be. We just don't know. Let's head trackside for the command in the Krystal night race at Bristol.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And a great command there to fire these guys up. Gonna wait until they roll off so we can get the starting lineup to roll on the bottom of your screen. All the drivers with an asterisk next to their name are in the chase. Number 6, however, of Garrett Sonor is not in the chase. He's looking for his first win here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series since season number 4 at Atlanta. It's been quite some time since the 6-time winner of this series has won, but he's got a chance here tonight from starting in the front row. Alongside him, it's Anthony Lopez, a rookie driver, not in the chase, in the number 72. Highest chase driver in the field is Alexander NRLOA in the number 27. He starts alongside Jonathan King in row number 2. Row 3 sees Reagan Whitlock and chase driver Matt Dalio. A couple more chase drivers here, Isaac Nichols and Marty Johnson. They're both in the chase. Marty Johnson made it into the chase on points alone, along with Daniel Bouchard. Bouchard also made it into the chase on points alone. He starts alongside chase driver Cody Sill. Got Zachary Fitzwater, Matt Tuck, Herja Lerv, and Alonzo. Ricky Stevenson is a chase driver after he won at the Texas Motor Speedway earlier this season. Eli Bright, Caleb Hoffman in on the chase from his win at Pocono. Dane Ammon and Daniel McMillan. Jordan Lopez, Jay Jefferson. Then it's Jesse Turner and chase driver Stuart Gratton. Stuart Gratton made it into the chase on points alone this season. Top 20 starting positions here for the Krystal night race at Bristol. Take a look at some other chase drivers in the field. You see Blaine Keys in the 48, John Arndt in the 24, Elijah Gordon in the 5. All those guys Hendrick teammates. And John Anders, the owner of Hendrick Motorsports, all 4 of his drivers are in the chase. But a lot of them start coming deep in the field for this race, with the exception of Matt Dalio. You see number 23 of Ace Garcia, number 1 seed in the chase, Cameron Garlington in the 47, Trey Bartow in the 4, and starting last is Al Lagasse. Those bottom 4 drivers on the outside lane, all chase drivers this season. Well, I think we're ready to get this one started here at Bristol. I have no idea what we're going to see here tonight, but it's definitely going to be wild, and it's going to open up this championship race here for Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. The pace car has pulled off. The Krystal night race at Bristol is green. It's Bristol, baby. And right at the start of the race, a great battle for the lead. NRLOA almost got to the inside of Garrett Senor for the first position, but Senor will stay out front in the number 6 for Roush Fenway Racing and Luke Rainey. Number 27 is the highest chase driver in the field right now in that number 27 machine. Drives for the RCR camp. Matthew Phillips is the owner of this team, and NRLOA is the only chase driver in the field for RCR. Second place is that 27. Third place is Reagan Whitlock in the 78. He's moving his way through the field pretty well. 72 of Anthony Lopez runs in the 4th position, but here comes Isaac Nichols for BK Racing in the 5th position. He's the second highest chase driver in the field right now. Got Matt Dallio on the outside lane here. He started 6th. He's fallen back in the 88. And that outside lane is definitely a tough place to be here at the Bristol Motor Speedway because you just don't get the run that you want up there, and that inside lane is just the place to be when it comes to these short track races. But he is holding pretty tough on that outside lane, I will say that. Trying to get the run on the outside of Daniel Bouchard. And those two chase drivers, they have been side by side for quite some time here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Got to hand it to Matt Dallio. He's definitely one of the best drivers this series has ever seen. And if there's going to be anybody to make the outside lane work, it's him. But he's finally going to slip away, allow Bouchard to drive by. Cody Sill in the 1 trying to close in on this battle. All 3 of these drivers, chase drivers, as you can tell by the red Chick-fil-A logo on their banner. Little smoke there through the corner. Might have had a little bit of a dust up, but I believe whoever was involved kept on going. It might have been Jay Jefferson in the number 31, and you just got a feel for Jay Jefferson this season. Definitely has had a very disappointing outing, I guess you can say, as a rookie driver this season. And you believe he might have been the driver that slammed to that outside wall. But the momentum kept going on the 31. Car was not sideways or stopped on the racetrack, on the racing surface, so that is why we remain green. Garrett Senor is still out front in the number 6. It's great to see a decently long green flag run here at Bristol. And number 6 of Garrett Senor still out front with NRLOA, Reagan Whitlock, Anthony Lopez, and Isaac Nichols, the top 5. Now, I don't think we've ever seen green flag pit stops here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, but if we get them, we might end up with a caution because this is such a small racetrack. Get cars coming off the pit lane and cars trying to drive by them, lapping them and all that. They might not successfully get off the pit lane too well without any contact. So we may see a caution if we get green flag pit stops in this race. So just keep that in mind. They might not figure that out too well. But like I said earlier on, I believe I said this earlier on, we did tone it down to 100% strength this time. I believe this is the lowest we've ever had it set for the Bristol race, but you know what? After the past few races that we've had here that have been Crash Fest races, it's actually kind of nice to see this one go green. So especially Garrett Senor, he's liking the looks of this one as he holds the lead in the number 6. Chase driver NRLOA definitely getting a good run, and keep in mind, if a chase driver wins, he's automatically going to advance on to the next round of the chase. So, you know, if you win a race, don't have to worry about points, because if you win, you're on to the next round automatically. And NRLOA definitely knows that. He would love to get his second win of the season. He got into the chase from winning the Valvoline 400 just a couple weeks ago at the Daytona International Speedway. And if NRLOA or any of these chase drivers win here tonight, they will automatically be in the round of 12 for the chase. A couple of chase drivers back in here. Ace Garcia, who comes into this race the highest seed in the chase. Stuart Gratton in the 37. I believe it might have been Gratton and Jefferson that got into each other. And we saw that smoke. Gratton does have some right side damage to his race car. He's right near the next to last driver who's in the chase on the racetrack. Gotta watch out for 3 wide here at Bristol. That never works, to tell you that much. And if we get a lot of 3 wide in this race, we're going to have a lot of yellow. See Blaine Keys, Cameron Gurnlington, Elijah Gordon, Al Langasee, they're all in the chase. They're all kind of deep in the field right now. Trey Bartow, John Arndt, midway through the pack. Marty Johnson, I believe, he started in the 8th position, and the 32 is now running in the 24th place, so he has fallen off tremendously for that Go Fast Racing machine. Michael Kelly, the owner of this team, they have not gotten a win this season, but they did win the Meliello Smooth Fest at Daytona non-points event at the beginning of the year. See Trey Bartow, another chase driver here on this inside lane. A couple of Hendrick guys right behind him there, and John Arndt and Blaine Keys. There's Daniel McMillan in the 95, Richard Kinghart in the number 19. And I got a scam call on my phone again. I don't understand why I keep on getting them, but you know what? That's just the way it is sometimes, you know? Garrett Tenor still out front in the number 6 for Luke Rainey and Roush Fenway Racing. I was about to comment on Joe Gibbs Racing. Josh Crash, the owner of this team. They only have 1 driver in the chase that did not get a win all season long, but Bouchard had enough points to make it on. So Bouchard, he's actually doing really well right now, running 7th. I believe he is the 3rd highest chase driver in the field right now. And pretty good news there for that Joe Gibbs Racing number 11. Matt Delio also doing a great job. Same with Cody Sill in the 1. They're all in the top 10. Got 5 chase drivers in the top 10 right now here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Almost a quarter of the way through this race, and I believe that our leaders are closing in on the end of the field. So this is totally new territory here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. I don't believe we've ever seen this. But our leaders closing in on the end of the field, and we're going to have some guys get lapped here in the old-fashioned traditional way. Ace Garcia, a chase driver. He came into the chase the highest seed. He has the most playoff points coming into this race. He's right now running in the 40th position, and he's about to go a lap down as Garrett Senor goes to the inside of him. But with Senor catching on to the end of this field, these guys behind him who are on the lead lap are closing in for the lead. Reagan Whitlock's going to get a run to the inside of Alexander Rowe for the 2nd position. I believe Rowe might be able to hold it. No, he won't. Whitlock's going to stay on the inside and take the 2nd position away. Garrett Senor might get stuck in the outside here as Ace Garcia tries to run to the inside of him and get his lap back. Very intense battling going on back in here. Alexander Rowe trying to hold on to the outside lane. Isaac Nichols trying to gain a position in the 83 on Anthony Lopez. Great job by Alexander Rowe right now running this outside lane. Reagan Whitlock trying to get to the inside of him here. But Garrett Senor, he's back on the inside lane. Ace Garcia did get around him. It's now Stuart Gratton going a lap down in the number 37, and Whitlock is going to also get to the inside of the 37 and pass him. Alexander Rowe has been passed for the 2nd position, I should say. And Isaac Nichols came close to passing him for the 3rd position in the number 83. Almost 3 wide there. Jonathan King almost got spun by the 88 of Matt Delio. And Delio racing a little aggressive right now in the number 88. He knows that these leaders are bunching up and he wants to get right to them. And that could have been a major accident if they did not avoid it. But fortunately, they stay green, and the 33 of Jonathan King is running just fine. I cannot tell you how refreshing it is to see this race go green. I mean, I just can't tell you just how nice it is to see this. I mean, it's just wonderful. I find it really wonderful. I do not like Crash Fest races. I'd rather have one guy dominate a race and lead every single lap and a go caution free than to have a Crash Fest race. I really would. I feel like this way, hey, at least we're actually racing. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us can agree with that statement there. Reagan Whitlock under fire from Alexander Rowe. Rowe trying to get the run on the outside lane here, and he might make it stick. They're going to remain side by side for the 2nd position. They were closing in on Stuart Gratton there, and Gratton, he might try to get back to the inside of Garrett Senor, and that's the good thing about the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. All these guys have equal ratings. These guys at the back of the field, they have just as fast race cars as our leaders. So they have the capability of getting around our leaders again, putting them on the outside and creating a lot of action up front. Number 6 kind of going a little wide through the racetrack. Alexander Rowe has gotten around Reagan Whitlock for the 2nd position. Cody Sill on Matt Delio back in there. That is for 7th. And Cody Sill's going to take it away from the 88. Matt Delio might slip up a little bit here as he is stuck in the outside lane now. It's not good at all for the Season 4 champion of this series, but still got a good run going for him here tonight, and got a lot of chase drivers who are at the end of the field. And here we go. Stuart Grattan trying to get to the inside, and pit stops are beginning. Alexander Rowe, I'm telling you, he had a good opportunity possibly taking the lead away from Garrett Tenor there, but he's going to come down the pit lane and begin the first cycle of green flag pit stops in this race, lap 38 of 100. Now, if this thing goes green the whole way through, it's going to be a 2-stop race. There goes Whitlock down the pit lane. Tenor is still out there in the number 6. And Garrett Tenor has led every single lap tonight here in the Krystal night race at Bristol. Stuart Grattan is to the inside of him here in number 37. See Jay Jefferson coming down the pit lane. Grattan wants to get his lap back before these pit stops begin. And Garrett Tenor wants to get on the inside lane so he can get down to the pit lane. It looks like he's surpassed the 37 for now, and I believe Garrett Tenor, the leader, is going to come down the pit lane here. Here comes Anthony Lopez, Isaac Nichols, Jonathan King, Eli Bright, Cody Sill. And this is, I believe, the first time we have ever seen green flag pit stops here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. How about that? Historical moment here tonight at the last great Coliseum. We've never had green flag pit stops before in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series at this racetrack, but tonight we're finally getting it. These guys are coming off here. Alexander Rowe will get out ahead of Reagan Whitlock off the pit lane. And we'll see how this whole thing cycles through. I believe they're 2 laps down at the moment. I think they're now 1 lap down. But they're going to get around Garrett Tenor here. See where the number 6 is. He's on the other side of the pit lane. And we'll see where he comes out in relation to everybody else. A lot of guys are going to get put a lap down at the end of this cycle. I will tell you that. There's the number 6 coming off the pit lane. There's the number 27 of Alexander Rowe, not too far behind. Got a full head of steam, and Alexander Rowe's right behind this number 6, but Garrett Tenor stays out front. Yes, I believe he stays out front, and he does. So Garrett Tenor back up top here in the Krystal night race at Bristol. And right as that cycle ends, the caution flies. And we've had an accident. Jay Jefferson in the 37 around, and nobody hits him. Well, I believe the cycle was complete once the caution came out, so I don't think it's going to be too dramatic. But these guys just came down the pit lane, so will they come down this time? That's a big question there. We're just going to have to see. Garrett Tenor out front in the number 6. Alexander Rowe, Reagan Whitlock, Anthony Lopez, and Matt Dalio. The top 5 here at Bristol. And Alexander Rowe is going to take this opportunity to top off on fuel. But Garrett Tenor staying out. And I believe a lot of these guys in the lead lap are actually coming down. So Garrett Tenor, I believe, is the only guy. Now, Anthony Lopez is also on the lead lap there. So he's also staying out. So Lopez will be second. Garrett Tenor will be the leader when we restart. But you see these guys coming down the pit lane, topping off on fuel, and I don't believe they can make it to the end of the race without having to come in again after this stop. So, not entirely sure why they're going with this strategy, but a lot of the guys are coming down. A lot of the guys on the lead lap are coming down the pit lane. And we're just going to have to see how it all plays out. Now, the 27 was actually shown as a leader there. He actually sped up to come down the pit lane there, so that's why he officially led that lap. But Garrett Tenor will be the leader once this whole thing is cycled through. And we do have a lot of guys a lap down as well, so keep that in mind. Ace Garcia is one of those guys. He came into this race the top seed for BK Racing. He has not won a race yet this season, has never won a race on Napa Fan, but he's definitely been a very consistent driver. He's going to come and top off as a lap down car. John Arndt's a lap down. William Johnston. Noah Carr's back in there. They're all lap down. But somebody who's not a lap down is our leader, of course, and that's Garrett Tenor in the number 6. After we review the crash that brought out the first caution here tonight, going to get to the restart here in the Krystal night race at Bristol. But first, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution here in the Krystal night race. At this point, Jay Jefferson was really deep in the field. He was 39th position at the time of this accident. And Noah Carr's coming off the pit lane after his service. Gets into the 31 there. They were 3 wide, and Alonso to the outside of Jefferson's what sent that 31 around. There's not enough room to go 3 wide there at that moment, and around went Jefferson into the wall with Hair Gel Arv and Alonso. And the number 31 I believe he might have gotten hit again here because I believe he got spun around a second time. Because when we were seeing him, we were at a different camera angle than this. I could be incorrect about that. He might have been able to avoid another spin. But then again, here comes Eric Almenhart spinning him around. So I was incorrect about it being just one spin. There was a second one as Almenhart ran into him. But fortunately, that was it. Jefferson should be able to continue in the number 31. And everybody should be able to continue. But we're going to have a lot of guys in the inside lane restarting here in a moment. There's a lot of guys are a lap down right now here in this race. Replay this in real time following Jay Jefferson in the 31. Kind of comes down the backstretch there into the 3 of Noah cars as he's coming off the pit lane. And that's just what ensues. Alonso involved as well. And Almenhart's going to come in here. Just cannot slow down and spins that 31 around. But Jefferson should be able to continue in the number 31 here tonight. Anyways, Garrett Tenor is the leader in the number 6. He chose to stay out while a lot of guys on the lead lap came down the pit lane there, even though they just had their last stop under the green flag. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. When we return here to the Bristol Motor Speedway after this commercial break, we'll see what happens on the restart. The NRLOA official channel is finally here. Check out new things like the NRLOA Race Center Live podcast. And don't forget to check out races from your favorite NRLOA creators. It's the NRLOA official channel. Check it out now. And talk about things happening. Garrett Tenor is still the leader, but second place is now Ricky Stevenson in the 38. I believe there might have been a little bit of strategy on the pit lane there. You see Alex Monroe's kind of deep in the field in the 27 at the top of your screen there. But Stevenson, he is second. Daniel Bouchard, another chase driver, is third, and it's Jesse Turner, another guy looking to break a very long losing streak, and Eli Bright, the top 5, coming to the restart. But Garrett Tenor, the dominant guy of the day, is going to get the jump on Elijah Gordon and clear him, so that's great news for Garrett Tenor. Oh boy, 3 wide off the corner. That could have been massive there between Cameron Garlington and Elijah Gordon. And both of those guys a lap down. Just trying to get back on the lead lap, but Garrett Tenor is just driving away right now in the number 6. Ricky Stevenson running second, trying to get the run on the outside of Cameron Garlington. He wants to close in on that number 6, but Tenor got a fantastic jump on the restart. He pulled away from Elijah Gordon and cleared Gordon, so Tenor in a very good position to possibly win this race here tonight. But we still have another set of pit stops left to go in this thing, especially if this thing goes green. It's going to get very interesting near the end. Stevenson is still side by side with Garlington. You got Jay Jefferson, Tristan Allen, couple of lap down machines there. Third place is the number 11 of Daniel Bouchard, all the way back in here. Jesse Turner's 4th, and I believe Eli Bright runs in the 5th position. They're all stuck in the outside lane, and they're multiple seconds behind our leader, Garrett Tenor, who's single file with nobody around him. Elijah Gordon, he won a Napa Truck Series race here in season number 3, I do believe. I believe he beat Trey Barcha late in the going in that race. So he knows how to get it done here at Bristol, but he's right now, I believe, a lap down in the number 5. He is only 1 lap down, however, so if he can get around Garrett Tenor and the caution were to come back out, and speaking of which, the caution is back out, and Eli Bright is around in the number 13, and Blaine Keys, a chase driver with major damage in the number 48. Blaine Keys, the first chase driver with calamity here tonight. I believe Matt Dahlia also gained some damage in the 88. Dahlia was on the lead lap, so was Blaine Keys when this crash occurred. And 2 of the Hendrick Motorsports drivers involved in this one to bring out the second caution in the Krystal night race here at Bristol. Daniel Bouchard also with major damage in the 11. Another chase driver with issues. My, oh my. Eli Bright majorly torn up in the number 13. Jonathan Rains, the owner of this team, they have had a very tough season, Germain Racing. But think they're probably glad tonight's over at this point. Senora's going to come down the pit lane here. See if anybody else on the lead lap comes down. I mean, there's so many guys a lap down. They're actually going to gain their lap back. I mean, if I'm Elijah Gordon, if I'm Cameron Garland, I'm staying out on the racetrack. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to come down the pit lane and lose my lap again. You do not want to do that if you're Elijah Gordon or Cameron Garland. But you know what? They're going to come down anyway. I don't know if they're going to lose their lap or what, but if they're coming down here, they probably will. So Garrett Senor, he's done with his pit stop. I believe everybody on the lead lap came down this time, and at this point of the race, they can all make it to the end without coming down again. So Gordon, first driver off the pit lane. However, it is showing Alex NRLOA the leader, but then again, Alex NRLOA's pit stall is past the start-finish line, so that's probably why he was shown the leader of that lap. Garrett Senor's pit stall is down the backstretch. And there is the number 6. You know what? I think Matt Dalio and the number 88, I don't believe he's a lap down. No, he's actually on the tail end of the lead lap. So he's not a lap down, but I believe he came down. So he's actually on the tail end right now. He's going to be right in front of Garrett Senor for this restart. So that's definitely going to be a very interesting scenario there. Ricky Stevenson still second. Jesse Turner is third. Derek Hamill or actually, Eric Dominor's not on the lead lap, but Derek Hamill is a part-time driver there for Tommy Baldwin Racing and Clint Buchanan. They're fourth right now on that number 7. And Alex NRLOA, the second highest chase driver right now, and number 27 runs 5th. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the second caution here in the Krystal night race at Bristol, affecting a couple of our chase drivers. And this began with a couple of chase drivers, one on the lead lap, and Daniel Bouchard, who was running third at the time, and Ace Garcia, who was a lap down in the 23, hard into the inside wall for the number 11, and he comes back up the racetrack right. Look at Noah Cars. Look at the way he avoided that one in the number 3. Just look at that. John Arndt also spun around a little bit in the 24, trying to avoid this, but Eli Bright, he was the driver with the major damage in this one as Bouchard came right up on him. Blaine Keys also torn up in the 48 as he ran to the 13 and he was sideways on the racetrack. And Matt Dalio as well in the number 88 got a piece of this one at the end. But that was all that ensued there under the second caution here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to replay this in real time following Daniel Bouchard in the number 11 as he gets spun off the front bumper of Ace Garcia and right into the 13 of Eli Bright. And you see what ensues there. Blaine Keys getting involved and Noah Cars as well. Tough break for all those guys involved, especially the 3 chase drivers. Blaine Keys, it looks like he's probably going to be done for the night. Bouchard in the 11. He might be able to continue, and same with Matt Dalio, but Keys, I think he might be done as he hit that 13 with the front end of his race car. On board the number 48. The last time we were in Tennessee, this guy won, but it's not going to happen tonight for Blaine Keys. See what ensues ahead. The 11 going around, 13 in the outside wall. You try to avoid it, but sometimes you just can't. And that's what happened with the 48 of Blaine Keys. He ran right into the 13, and you see the smoke trailing his race car at the end of this accident. Anyways, we're going to get right to the restart. No commercial break. Let's get right to the restart here in the Krystal night race at Bristol for the first race of the chase in Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. We are back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and this is going to be majorly interesting because Garrett Senor, the leader, is right in between all these lap cars. Matt Dalio is on the tail end of the lead lap in the number 88. All these guys on the inside, a lap down. Garrett Senor is still the leader. He's been the dominant guy of this race after starting on the pole. Ricky Stevenson, Jesse Turner, Derek Hamill, and Alex NRLOA, the top 5. 2 chase drivers in the top 5 in Stevenson and Rowe. Matt Dalio with a great jump on the start, and Garrett Senor's trying to clear Eric Allmenhart, but he cannot do so. Dalio's out of here in the 88. He'd love a quick caution. Senor does get around the 15. Will Ricky Stevenson get around the 15 and try to close in on the 6? I believe he will, so Stevenson in a good position right now in the number 38, the highest chase driver in the field. So it's Garrett Senor who got the jump there on the 11. Thankfully for Senor, Matt Dalio got a very good jump as well. So if Dalio, if he slowed down, that could have been very troublesome for our leader. Ricky Stevenson, however, is trying to close in. It almost looks like this 38 has a faster race car, and it almost looks like Senor has a faster race car than Matt Dalio right now. So Dalio, he might have a very big effect on who takes this lead here in the next few laps. Jesse Turner has cleared Almenhart. Nobody alongside him, but he does have a lap car in front of him, in between him and Ricky Stevenson. Derek Hamill in the number 7, however, is still majorly far behind. Over 3 seconds behind our leader, Garrett Senor, right now. And Alex NRLOA, the same situation for him. Isaac Nichols trying to take 5th away. Nichols has had a really strong run here tonight. Really haven't talked about him too much. But that 83 is doing pretty good, and that's what you need to do. You got to get those good runs in these rounds in order to advance on to the next round. If you get those good runs, you're going to have a good chance at winning the championship. And Isaac Nichols definitely showing us that he has a strong race car running in the top 5 right now as he's gotten around Alex NRLOA, who continues to fall back in the 27. Marty Johnson, a great run for him tonight, up to 7th in number 32. Because actually at one point down to 24th in this race after he started 8th. He's now found his way inside the top 10, running 7th. McMillan trying to take 7th away from him, however. Got Caleb Hoffman, the Tennessee native. He's close to the top 10. Right now 11th in the number 14. Great run for that chase driver there. And his final ever Bristol start in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, by the way. Final start in his home state as well in this series. So that's probably a bittersweet moment for him here tonight. Still getting a good run. But doesn't really want to leave Bristol, I don't think. So here Gillard and Alonso, Donovan Duthit, they're on the lead lap as well. And in the wall goes Eric Almenhart and John Arndt. I believe we are still green. These guys might come down the pit lane, or will they? Are they going to LePage the field? No, they won't. That is a tough one for John Arndt. I believe Arndt was a lap down, however, and you remember what happened in Indianapolis. He had a very struggling regular season, but he got into the chase on that win last Saturday. Right now, the number 24 majorly torn up after he got into a little skirmish with the number 15 of Eric Almenhart. Back to the lead, the number 6 of Garrett Senor. It has been his night, and let me tell you, this guy wants to get a win. I mean, it's been over 2 seasons for him. And, of course, I know he wished he was in the chase and all that. He missed the All-Star race this season. He missed it on Monday, did not advance into the Open, and he has not won since Season 4, so he was not eligible for it. But if he gets this win here tonight, he's going to be eligible for next season's All-Star race, and just have to see how it all plays out for him. But Ricky Stevenson knows that if he wins tonight, he's on to the next round of the chase automatically, and he got a really good run exiting turn 4 there. He's going to try to get to the inside of Garrett Senor. This number 38 is very fast right now. Front Row Motorsports, they've done a fantastic job this season with Ricky Stevenson and Al Agassi. Brad Stover, the owner of this team, definitely very happy that both of his drivers made the chase. And now this number 38 trying to get around this number 6 for the lead. But Garrett Senor stays out front right now in the number 6 as he continues to lead here in the Krystal Night Race. 3/4 of the way through this event here tonight. I believe all these drivers can make it to the end of the race without having to come in again, so this is it right here. I believe it's going to be between Senor and Stevenson for the win, only unless Jesse Turner closes in. And how about Julius Anderson? He's closed in on these front 2 guys. If he gets to the inside of both of these guys, that's going to help Jesse Turner close in and possibly take the victory. And that's another guy who really, really wants to get a win. I mean, it's been over 4 seasons for Jesse Turner in the number 43. The Season 2 champion of this series has not won since Season 2. Garrett Senor trying to hold off the number 38 there, closing in on the number 15 of Eric Almenhart, who you remember was involved in that little skirmish there with John Arndt a few laps ago. And he's a little bit slow on the racetrack right now in the number 15. He might play a major factor into who takes this lead. It's going to be 20 laps to go next time by here in the Krystal Night Race at Bristol. It's been all Garrett Senor tonight, but Ricky Stevenson, a chase driver looking to advance on to the round of 12, is right behind him, trying to grab his 2nd win of the season. Senor to the inside, not going to be able to get the run to the inside of Eric Almenhart quite yet, but he's going to stay in the lead for now in the number 6. It's number 15 definitely getting in the way of our leaders here. Jesse Turner is closing in fast on the top two, as Sinor and Stevenson are still stuck behind Almenhart. Sinor will get a run to the inside of the part-time driver, and so will Ricky Stevenson. That is exactly what Stevenson needed to do. He needed to get around that 15 just as fast as Garrett Sinor did, and Stevenson did not lose much ground at all on the number 6. But Sinor pulling away just a little bit right now. He started on the pole for this race. He has led nearly every single lap, but he's definitely going to have to earn this one if he's going to get the victory. Closing in on the end of the field here, Matt Daly was actually still on the lead lap, but barely in the 88. But we got Matt Tuck, Jonathan King back in here, Cody Sill in the 1. I believe Sill's still on the lead lap, and he is. And same with Jonathan King and Matt Tuck. They're all still on the lead lap right now. But this number 6 of Garrett Sinor is closing in fast and pulling away, by the way, from Ricky Stevenson right now. But if Sinor gets stuck on the outside, he's going to pass like one of these guys, and one of these guys gets back to the inside of him to take their lap back. And that might close Ricky Stevenson in for the lead here. It's going to be a close fight between the 38 and the 6, let me just tell you that. Matt Delio, he's been able to stay on the lead lap. He currently runs in the 23rd position. So 23 drivers on the lead lap right now here at Bristol. And Garrett Sinor is trying to get around him, but he cannot quite do so yet. That number 88 is very fast, let me tell you that. And passing here at Bristol, in case you haven't really noticed quite yet, it is a little difficult here. And I don't think that 6 is going to get around Matt Delio anytime soon. And we only have 13 laps left to go here in the Krystal Night Race. So Garrett Sinor definitely the driver to beat here tonight. Will anybody beat him? You got Ricky Stevenson and Jesse Turner. Now, Turner, he wants to get around Julius Anderson, let me tell you that. But he might want to use Julius Anderson to get around Ricky Stevenson. If Anderson can get around Stevenson, that's going to open the door for Turner to close in on Sinor. But right now, they just stay single file. They cannot get alongside each other. It's very hard to do that here at Bristol. And it might just stay the way it is right now with Garrett Sinor taking the victory here tonight. Still have 10 laps to go here in the Krystal Night Race. Garrett Sinor still dominating this event, but Ricky Stevenson is still right here in the number 38. Sinor has taken kind of a high line through each corner here tonight. I mean, you might want to watch for that because Stevenson, he's definitely going a little bit lower than Sinor through these corners. Stevenson, another fantastic run. Will he try to get to the inside of him here through turn number 1? Not quite yet. Stevenson goes a little high through the racetrack. And Sinor's going to stay out front. Matt Delio still hanging on to the lead lap position. They were closing in on Jonathan King and Matt Tuck, but they have pulling away from the leaders, so the race is on right now. Jesse Turner trying to get to the inside of Julius Anderson, not able to do so. Stevenson, only a few laps left before he is going to finish second place. And he fell off a little bit from the 6 right there with 6 laps to go. Garrett Sinor trying all he can. If Anderson gets around Stevenson, Turner is going to be in the second position. Coming to 5 laps to go here at Bristol. The number 6 of Garrett Sinor trying to win his first race since Season 4 in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series at Atlanta. And if Garrett Sinor were to win this race, he would be back to being the sole all-time winningest driver on Napa Fan with 19 career wins. Ricky Stevenson's coming down the pit lane. And right at the end of this race, we're going to have some fuel mileage strategy in the Krystal Night Race. Oh my goodness gracious. It might not go to Garrett Sinor. Will he come down the pit lane? The caution is out. And that's it. The caution is out here at Bristol right as that cycle was beginning. And I believe it was Anthony Lopez in the 72. You see the damage to his race car. Garrett Sinor, just stay out. You can make it to the end of the race. You can make it to the end of the race. Just stay out on the racetrack and you're good to go. How about that? If this thing were to go green, oh no, Sinor's coming down. Oh my goodness gracious. He must not have enough fuel to make it on these caution laps. I mean, he was probably going to come down the next lap, but the pit road was closed. Is somebody going to stay out and win this thing? Daniel McMillan in the 95. He's staying out in the 95, and he is running in the second position right now. How about this? Absolutely unbelievable. Garrett Sinor has been the dominant guy of the night. The caution comes out. They're taking the white flag now. This thing will end under caution. And Isaac Nichols is not the leader as the scoreboard suggests. Sinor, however, I believe he's going to beat these guys off the pit lane. So Garrett Sinor might win this thing, or will he? This is the slowest race ever. McMillan is passing the number 6. Daniel McMillan is surpassing the number 6. And unofficially, this is unofficial right now, this is not official, Daniel McMillan steals it here at Bristol. But I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be an official race or not, because we're going to have to review. We're going to have to review and see where Garrett Sinor came off the pit lane and see if he actually beat McMillan and Hoffman out, because we can change the result of the race if necessary. We've actually had to do this before. You remember back in the DR34 DG38 days, we had a race at Bristol where one of those guys on the tail end of the lead lap, they just drove by everybody, and they were not the leaders. So this is not official yet. Daniel McMillan is not the official winner. We're going to review the end of this here and see where Garrett Sinor has fallen in place. Caleb Hoffman in the 14, finishing second unofficially. Chris Skinlard finishing third. And those guys were able to stay out. Pit stops were beginning right when the caution came out. And I just have no idea what is going on right now. They're all stopped on the racetrack. This is all super confusing for these guys right now. But we're going to go ahead and review the crash and review right there near the end when Garrett Sinor was coming off the pit lane. This is definitely a crazy night here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So right at the end there, these guys, they were coming down the pit lane. They could not make it to the end, and about 5 laps to go. They're coming down the pit lane here at Bristol to top off on fuel. Alexander NRLOA, he might have run out of fuel. He's trying to come down the pit lane, and Caleb Hoffman was to the inside of him. Now Alexander NRLOA tries to save it, but Hoffman's teammate, Alonso, he wants to stay on the racetrack and just runs right into the 27, and around that 27 goes. And Alexander NRLOA, it's a tough break for him. Not sure if he stayed on the lead lap or not, but with this damage right here, he might not have. Alexander NRLOA, a hard impact from Anthony Lopez in the number 72, and the 72 with major damage in that car owned by Aiden Shepard. What's even more, I guess you could say, interesting in this whole situation is what happened near the end. Garrett Sinor, he was able to stay out, did not have to come down under the green flag. He did not come down the pit lane before the caution came out. But as the caution was out, the pit lane's open at this point, he decides to top off on fuel even though the race is not going to get back to racing. Daniel McMillan in the number 95 is on the lead lap, running second at the time. Remember, all those guys like Ricky Stevenson and Jesse Turner, they were second and third before the green flag stops began. And you see the 95 here. We're going to see whether or not the 6 beat out the pace car, and obviously he did not. And even at the line, I believe Daniel McMillan was ahead of Sinor, so Sinor had no right to drive by the number 95 near the end. The officials told him to give up the lead position, and he did so to Daniel McMillan at the line right there. McMillan is ahead in the 95 of Garrett Sinor, so Sinor did not officially beat out the 95, which means that Daniel McMillan is the winner here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Levine Family Racing, Nick Smith, the owner of this team. They were close on making it into the chase on points alone, but they were not able to do so. But right in the first race of the chase, they grab a victory, and it comes here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Daniel McMillan, the winner here at the Bristol Motor Speedway in the Krystal night race at Bristol. And definitely one of the wackiest finishes I have ever seen here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. We've seen it happen before. It happened in Season 1 at Pocono. Blaine Keys came really close to winning his first career race all the way back then. Of course, he won his first career race in this series earlier this season. But if you remember that race, Blaine Keys, he was the dominant guy of the race. A caution came out late in the going. They were not going to get the race restarted. And Blaine Keys came down the pit lane. Well, Trey Bartow back in there stayed out. He was on the lead lap, and he took the victory away. So we've seen it happen before. Garrett Tenore's team, they must not have had enough fuel. I mean, they must have barely run out right near the end. And they came down, relinquishing the lead to Daniel McMillan, who came out of nowhere to win this race here at Bristol. A lot of guys finishing a lap down, but that's because a lot of these guys had already come down the pit lane and had been lapped when the caution came out. So just a very odd night here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, I'll tell you that. But there's one guy other than McMillan who's happy, and that's Caleb Hoffman. He's going to be the highest chase driver, or he is the highest chase driver who finished here tonight. Might not necessarily be the points leader considering the playoff points, but still a very good run for the number 14 team. And Caleb Hoffman, his final race here at Bristol in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, almost a win, but not quite, but still a great finish for that team. Chris Skinlar, Garrett Tenore, who was the dominant guy of the race, finishing 4th. Reagan Whitlock 5th. Next highest chase driver, Isaac Nichols in the number 83. Dane Ammon, Harry Larvin, Alonso, Adam Lewis, and Zachary Fitzwater, the top 10. Then we have 5 chase drivers in a row back in there. Cody Sill, Trey Bartow, Ricky Stevenson, Elijah Gordon, and Al Lagasse, finishing from 11th to 15th. Tristan Allen, chase driver Cameron Gurlington, Julius Anderson, chase driver Ace Garcia. He was a lap down most of the night, and he still got a top 20, and Richard Kingart rounds out the top 20 in the number 19. John Art, Marty Johnson, chase drivers finishing 2 laps down here tonight. Matt Delio, Alexander Rose, Stuart Gretton, not too good for those guys. And Daniel Bouchard, Blaine Keys, they were knocked out in that crash. It happened midway through the race, and that's why they're all the way back there in the field. But there are still 2 more races left to go in the round of 16 before we eliminate 4 drivers. So all hope is not lost for all these guys quite yet. And he's going to have to see what happens in the next race at Darlington and then Chicagoland next week. It's going to be a very crazy round, especially when we get to Chicagoland. That's a crazy place. But this race was crazy in a way that we really probably were not expecting. We probably would have expected this to be like a Crash Fest race and all that, but it was not a Crash Fest race. It was, in fact, a rather normal race that had a very twisting end. We say that. And Daniel McMillan, his first career win in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, coming here tonight because Garrett Tenore could not make it to the end on fuel in the number 6. You got a feel for Garrett Tenore, especially considering how long it's been since he's won here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. He had this win in the bag, came down the pit lane, and he didn't. I don't think he needed to do that either, but that's just the way it is. And Daniel McMillan, the winner here tonight in the Krystal night race at Bristol. Anyways, the chase has just started, so we got 9 races left before we crown a champion. And these points are going to be very, very critical, let me tell you that. So here are the points for the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series after the first race in the round of 16. And it's going to be very tight for that, for those final few positions of getting knocked out. And got to make sure you're in the top 12 at the end of 3 races if you're going to make it on to the next round. So those guys are going to be racing hard at Darlington and Chicagoland to make sure they get as many points as possible. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Congratulations to Daniel McMillan on winning here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And I will see you guys later.
High first speed, high first space, Death Stars in your face. Jetpack kicks high in the sky, walking on air. I know how to fly in my jetpack kicks, my jetpack kicks. You can watch me hover in my jetpack kicks. All laced up, rockets on blast, sonic boom, so fast in my jetpack kicks, my jetpack kicks. I can see the world in my jetpack kicks. Hover, 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 hover in my jetpack kicks. Hover, 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 I can see the world in my jetpack kicks. Drop out the sky like bomb guard, straight on down. down in Georgia, light up the sky so bright at night that people say, is it the morning? Space invaders, let's make some craters. Put up your lightsabers, guitar fader, feel the force when my kicks on. You can feel the force when my kicks on. Family force 5 when my kicks on. My kicks on. You can feel the force when my kicks on. Family force 5 when my kicks on. Jetpack kicks.